Many people worry about voting for the opposition for two reasons. One, they think that the government will blacklist them and it will affect their job. Two, they think that Singapore functions because of the PAP, and without the PAP, Singapore will suddenly stop working. In this video, I will debunk both those notions. And I will tell you why I think voting for the opposition is the safe option in Singapore today. Voting for the PAP, by contrast, is the riskier option. First, your vote is secret. Nobody knows what you will write on that piece of paper on Friday. Not Lee Hsien Loong, not your boss, not even Professor X or Jean Grey can find out. The only way somebody will find out is if you tell them. Now I have many friends, different positions, low and high, in MNCs, in the civil service. They voted the opposition their whole lives. It has never affected their chances of promotion.
You're pre-fired. And when I'm promoted, you'll be full fired.
Don't let anybody tell you that your vote is not secret. That is a favorite scare tactic of some of the PAP's fans.
I say liao. Finish!
Second, the idea that Singapore will somehow stop working or functioning without the PAP. Again, this is a scare tactic. Now think hard about what the opposition actually brings to the table. So at a high level, the opposition will most likely reduce Singapore's reliance on foreign money and manpower. And there will be some redistribution. As Jamus Lim says, the rebalancing of income share from capital to labour. Hey, sorry lah. My Angmo accent not as power as his lah. And I believe that having Cheng Bock in Parliament will be good, particularly for debates on immigration. He will push for transparency on SICA and other things. Anyway, all this is what you can expect if the opposition has more power in Parliament.
You see, if the Singaporean is qualified as a foreigner and you take the foreigner, I tell you that is hell. That's no good.
Many PAP fans don't want that. They actually are fine with the high immigration and the extremely liberal capital flows in and out of this country. Many PAP fans don't think inequality is that big of a problem. They actually think all these things keep our economy buzzing, keep Singapore dynamic.
Mr. Heng Swee Keat that came up with the idea of 10 million population.
Now these are not binaries, of course. We all sit somewhere on that spectrum. So this is what I'm saying. Relative to the opposition, the PAP is not as worried about foreign money, foreign manpower, and inequality.
Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit.
So yes, if you buy into that philosophy, then you might not want to vote for the opposition. But don't spread untruths lah. Don't say that if you vote opposition, Singapore's streets will become less safe. The opposition never said it is going to defund the police. It never said it's going to be lenient on crime. You think the Singapore police force will suddenly stop working if you vote opposition? You know what? I think you ask the cops here, they might prefer Nicole Seah to Heng Swee Keat, man. Don't say if you vote opposition, our pandemic response will become worse lah. The opposition never said anything about becoming relaxed about the pandemic, about COVID-19. The reason Singapore has done pretty well, that we have a low fatality rate, actually has very little to do with the PAP. It's because of our amazing doctors, healthcare workers, civil servants, volunteers, taxi drivers, Grab drivers. They all played a part. In fact, I think COVID-19 has shown to Singaporeans that even when our politicians are distracted, even when they are politicking, our country still performs at a very, very high level. So don't say that if we vote opposition, our pandemic response will become worse lah. You actually think that Lawrence Wong will do a better job than Paul Tambaya, is it? Interesting. So if you vote opposition, don't worry about your job lah. Your vote is secret. And also don't worry about Singapore collapsing. All our amazing institutions, civil service, police, army, these are all independent of politics. They are independent of the PAP. Singapore will still work. There are essentially two directions Singapore can take. depending on how you vote. If you vote for the PAP, you will give them even more power. Will they use that power wisely? Well, based on the evidence from the past few years, including the reserve presidency that got Halima into power, I have serious doubts about that. If you vote for the opposition, then we might slowly start to change things for the better, in my opinion. Less arrogance and ignorance among the elite. More compassion in society. More focus towards the people at the bottom. If you want proof of the opposition speaking up for you in Parliament, go listen to Pritam Singh talking about PMETs. Or go listen to Leon Pereira debating with Shanmugam about POFMA, one of the best performances anywhere, I think.
Order! 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 With no disrespect to order! Order!
Yes, I know not all opposition candidates are super good, super experienced, but that's to be expected lah. Imagine you as a parent have 2 kids. You give one kid all the money, all the exposure, all the opportunities, and the other kid, you keep knocking them down their whole lives. At some point, you must give the second kid a chance. That will help the kid individually, it will help the kid provide better competition for the arrogant elder kid, and ultimately that will help the whole family develop.
Get help! Please! My brother's dying! Get help! Help him! Oh, classic.
So, don't worry that the opposition politician is not perfect. Who is? Is Josephine Teo perfect? Is Masagos perfect? Is Chan Chun Sing perfect? By voting opposition, you are taking a small risk. But by voting for the PAP, you are taking a much bigger risk, in my opinion. Giving the PAP 100% of elected seats is the biggest danger to Singapore's future.
What do you mean? When you nod your head, yes.
Whomever you vote for, whatever the results, at the end of the day, no need to get angry with each other, no need to show unhappiness. Once every 5 to 6 years, we have a chance to understand what we collectively think about the future of our country. Savor it, look forward to it. And once it is done, we can go back to building our country together. Remember that we are all humans, we are all Singaporeans. Whether you are Man U or Liverpool, PAP or Oppo, doesn't matter lah. We are still in the middle of a pandemic after all. If you all play, Scully cannot drink bubble tea again.
When you nod your head, yes. But you wanna say no. What do you mean? When you